This place went to auction with a reserve price of only $1. But how much did it actually sell for? Let's have a look. You can see how the auction bids progressed up here. Unfortunately, number 1 Mansfield Street, Benalla suffered a horrible fire midway through last year where it was damaged beyond repair. Not many people want to buy a house that's burnt down, so I think it's a very clever move of the auctioneers to put it up with such a low reserve price. But what price would actually make it a good deal? Well, it's a funny thing you should ask that because I've been thinking about that a lot. And here's what I reckon. To me, it's pretty obvious you'll have to knock the whole thing down and start from scratch. Which brings up the next question of what is an empty block of land in Benalla worth? If you go one block over to Unit 2, number 89 Bridge Street, that one sold for $117,500 only 6 months ago, and it was a very comparable land size, only 25 square metres smaller. If you consider the Bridge Street is slightly closer to the CBD, and a burnt down house has a bit of a negative stigma about it, it would be fair to expect number 1 Mansfield Street to be worth slightly less than what Bridge Street sold for. So you'd guess $110,000. Now, for those of you playing at home, the next question is, how much does it cost to knock a house down? Well, I've got some estimates that should give us a nice round ballpark figure. The actual demolition, including labour and using some excavators to pull it down, could cost up to $30,000. Taking away the waste and disposing of it properly could cost another $30,000. I think it's fair to allow another $10,000 for just a general cleanup of the site and for anything unexpected, which brings us to $70,000 total. But there's one other thing that could make it much more expensive. And that is if there is any asbestos present. As the house has been burnt down and is in such a mess, it could cost another $30,000 to safely remove any asbestos, which gives you a worst case scenario of $100,000 total costs all in to clean up the property. So now that gives us a pretty simple equation. If we look at the best case scenario of a $70,000 cleanup and the land is worth about $110,000, then you can safely spend $40,000 at the auction and still come away with a profit. Worst case scenario, and there's a lot of asbestos, and it's going to cost $100,000 to clean up, then you can spend $10,000 at the auction and still come away with a profit. But if you've been following the auction results above my head, you'll see it was well over both of those. So possibly the winning bidder is planning on staying in the area for a long, long time. I've been Jason Hall, and I'm a buyer's agent who helps first home buyers to find their ideal home in Melbourne. Thanks, and take it easy.